It's interesting because all the remote viewers and all the people that I know with psychic powers, they all experience some type of accidents or trauma or like something horrible happened to them. Some of them like experience near-death experience. So it's a common theme, as if you need to have those experiences to activate your psychic abilities. Something needs to happen. Out-of-body experiences. It's very common between all the people with psychic abilities.
It is. We have 4 different avenues of psychic abilities. The ones that can do it well, we call them the prophetic type people. They're the ones that can go into full trance and be mediums. They're the ones that find it easy to have out-of-body experiences, and often a sense of knowing what's coming up without knowing how they know. Here we are again.
Yes, here we are again. Let's do this.
Let's do this, mister.
Yeah. So, by the way, it's a sidetrack. It's a side note. We live in a holographic universe.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm not remotely surprised.
Yeah.
But it seems to work all right.
Well, yeah. I mean,
give or take.
Whatever it is working.
Yeah.
To some degree.
The thing is there a non-holographic universe?
Well, that's always the question. Like,
yes.
If it is holographic universe or simulation.
Where's the other one?
What's outside of it?
Where's the real one?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Is outside of it a real one? Or what is real then?
Exactly.
Yeah, what is our definition of real? Because real means like natural. Well, why can't this be natural? Well, we believe like what we create with the computer is not like nature, but nature is involved in it. Nature give birth to...
Of course, yeah.
Us, human being, and then we create something, so it comes from nature.
Well, I can only speak for myself, but this is my reality for now. And if it's holographic, well, I'm happy with that.
The only thing with it is that it gives you a different perspective on it.
Yeah.
Like it shouldn't like be like, oh no, it's holographic, so it doesn't matter. Kill yourself or kill everyone that you can. It's like because it's holographic. No, but it gives you a perspective. Oh, like, oh yeah, how should I receive everything then? I should receive everything with a pinch of salt. Because it's not as solid and real and like, oh, I'm going to die and that's it. You know what I mean?
I think I've had that attitude anyway.
Yeah.
And it comes from, I know something we've talked about earlier is astral travel, out-of-body experiences. And I had a series of those as a teenager after an accident. And I really have, that changed my whole perspective on being, on life and death, on what is, what isn't. It made me realize that I'm not this body. This body is a vehicle which is borrowed. I'm a being here visiting. So since teenage years, I've had that thanks to that accident.
Can you tell us about the accident a little?
It wasn't very exciting at all, I'm afraid. I was 13 years old, doing gymnastics at school, and we were doing human pyramids. And I was in the middle, and the boy under me, when the pyramid collapses down, he was supposed to put his hands down by his side, but he didn't. He brought them up. So when I came down, my head hit his fist like this.
Ooh.
Extremely hard, and then I had the weight of other people on top of me, and I was actually blinded by that straight away. I mean, not permanently, obviously, but I couldn't see anything. Well, I could see colors, but that's all. And I was in hospital for months with concussion, and I had until I was 18 with a thing called Jackson syndrome, which is a form of epilepsy. Extremely excruciatingly painful headaches. And it kind of pushed me out of my body several times. The pain was so much that I just wasn't there. And I remember several times looking down at myself in bed, thinking, oh, there I am in bed. And I was thinking, but wait, I'm up here. How can I be there? Nah. Yeah, no, I am up here. The body is down there. I'm not the body. Aha. It was a pretty good start, 13-year-old.
13.
I was 13 when I had the accident.
Oh.
And those experiences happened between 13 and 18, on and off. So
it's interesting because all the remote viewers and all the people that I know with psychic powers, they all experience some type of accidents or trauma or like something horrible happened to them. Some of them like experience near-death experience. So it's a common theme.
Wow.
Between people with psychic abilities. as if you need to have those experiences to activate your psychic abilities. Something needs to happen.
It's interesting.
Yeah. It's weird as well. Yeah, it's fascinating. Because, I mean, you can get those type of experiences with some type of hallucinogenic.
Yes.
Like psychedelic chemicals. I experienced some of those feelings. I mean, I remember once I haven't slept for 3 nights and I was on drugs. And I was very young, 19, 20, 19, 18, 19. So finally, when I came home and went to my room and lay on my bed, for a brief moment, I wasn't awake, but I wasn't asleep either. Like I was just like laying down, relaxing, and suddenly it felt like I'm over the roof, like floating over the roof. And even then I didn't think like I'm out of my body. I was just watching the room from the roof.
Yes.
From the like a aerial view of it. And then suddenly I saw myself. And as soon as I saw myself, it felt like I went back to my body. And it felt like when I woke up, because I woke up right away, it felt like almost as if like I'm pushing in the bed. Like from the impact of it.
Yeah, I can relate to that feeling.
It was so weird. It was like, but I didn't even move. Like,
no, but it's sort of like wham down.
But I felt like I landed.
Yeah,
the impact of it. So, but I didn't make anything out of it, and I didn't even talk about it with anyone.
Yeah,
but it was a weird experience. So I experienced that much of it, out of body experience.
Fantastic.
But I didn't make anything special out of it, or like, I think you're the only one I told you about.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I'm glad you did.
Yeah, because I didn't think like it's because it's very like you could have it could have been a dream.
Yes, I understand.
I cannot say like with 100% certainty that no, I was awake or I was half awake and this happened and I experienced out of body experience. But I cannot say I didn't either. So
okay,
I know how it feels at least.
Yes.
It was very strange, but it wasn't scary.
Yeah.
I think like it was more than I've been surprised more than I've been scared when I saw myself, when I saw my body.
I actually love the feeling. Yeah. Woohoo! I'm up here. Well, can fly.
Yeah. So as I was saying, I was watching the Theory of Everything podcast with Kurt Joymungle.
Okay.
He's a very knowledgeable guy in physics and mathematics. And he was interviewing Leonard Susskind. He's one of the pioneer and one of the founders of the string theory.
Okay, yeah.
So it was very interesting that he was saying that after all, everything that we experience and all the study that we had done, we came down to the conclusion that we live in a holographic universe.
Okay.
And he said that the string theory failed. So
Okay.
his words, not mine. And it's a little sidetrack, but it's fun that we know that this string theory failed, and now we have to come up with a new way of thinking, a new theory to actually go somewhere with physics. So our physics explain our reality, not just like be a bunch of equations, mathematical equations.
Yes.
It needs to translate to reality. So, yeah, that was the sidetrack. But as I said,
That's a good sidetrack.
Yeah, it's fun. A fun fact. We can have a section in our podcast. Fun fact. His string theory is bullshit. And now continue with the rest.
I'm big to slightly differ on that. Not that I'm any great string theory expert, but I know that string theory is like a connection between all particles and etc. And I, in a way, believe that there is, but not that it's a string between each particle, but that everything is actually the same energy. In which case, everything is connected.
Yes, I believe that too. But I think the way they went about it.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
It's like
it's way over my head, the details, but the general principle.
They have supersymmetry, and they in all the equation, and we don't have supersymmetry in nature.
No, so we have balance, but not symmetry.
Yeah, supersymmetry. So it doesn't exist outside of mathematical equations. So then it's like, okay, this is something, but it doesn't explain our world.
No.
So let's get down to the something that explains this world that we live in.
Seeing as we are making sense of things in our podcast, let's get on with it.
Yeah, exactly. So out of body experiences.
Yes.
It's very common between all the people with psychic abilities.
It is.
So,
well, some of us can do it better than others. We have 4 different avenues of psychic abilities. The ones that can do it well, we call them the prophetic type people. They're the ones that can go into full trance and be mediums. They're the ones that find it easy to have out-of-body experiences, and often a sense of knowing of what's coming up without knowing how they know. And we kind of have half out-of-body experiences really often anyway. I know a common thing you hear people saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, I missed what you said. I was miles away." And okay, our bodies are here, but some of our thoughts, some of our consciousness was somewhere else, which probably really was. So, there are different degrees of out-of-body experience and different levels of it, you could say. And I think some levels are really, really common, just daydreaming.
So we do it, but we're not aware of it.
Or half aware of it, or not aware at all.
Or we do it to some degree.
Yes, that's right.
Not a full experience, not a full out-of-body experience, but we can be like remote from where we are, the location we are.
Yeah.
And it's a similar feeling. I never experienced it myself, but I would guess it's a similar feeling.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it's just different degrees of the same thing. I think it's wonderful.
Yeah.
I could easily live out doing that, but that's could be a form of escapism too, so I don't.
Yeah, but unfortunately, whatever sense or ability we have, it gets weaponized. especially by governments or like, CIA or like these officials. Because I was just like, researching for the episode, and it's like, okay, Project Stargate is like psychic espionage.
Yes.
So the first thing that they did, like they studied it for more than 150 years, not only USA, but everywhere in the world.
Yes.
They study psychic abilities, psychic powers for more than 150 years, which was new to me because I thought like the earliest goes back to 70s or 60s or 40s. But apparently it has a long history of being studied and being taken serious.
The different aspects of it. I mean, even back in the 1800s, there was Madame Blavatsky and her gang worked a lot with exploring mediumship too. I know it's a little different than what we're talking about, but it's connected. And that became,
is she Russian? Sound Russian.
She must have with a name like that. Must be, but she operated in Great Britain.
Yes.
But she must have Russian roots for sure.
Yes. I don't mind.
Anyway, it was very fashionable in the late 1800s to go to seances and have contact with the dead, etc. Yeah, so even that, that's well back in time now, eh?
So it has a long history.
Yeah,
longer than I thought. Being studied.
Yes, being studied. Yes, of course. Yeah,
and
but its existence, of course, is innate in us. It's a natural part of all of us. But I don't know about the studying part. As you say, that's probably 100, 150 years. Yeah, and I'm guessing that the Nazi Party would have studied it too. I know they studied the occult in great depth. So you can bet that psychic abilities were part of that study too.
Yeah, they've been very into relics and items from ancient history. And yeah, it's a little creepy that they had that interest.
I know, yeah.
Because they don't get interested about things that are normal or have nothing. It's just for the education purposes, or they find something like, some type of power or
actually
black magic in it.
I want to sort of throw a little bit of a blanket over that, just as a question mark, because this is out of my field of expertise. But my instincts tell me that I don't know if you can abuse these things too far. I think probably you're going to go so far and then something shuts it off. And I'm not 100% sure on that, but that's my gut feeling that the powers that be probably won't ever allow it to get too destructive. Because I don't know if there's any remote viewing happening presently, or that we know of anyway. So
yes, it does.
It does?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And is it working?
Yeah, I came across, because I thought because the project started in 1985 and it went on until 1996.
Okay.
And they closed it, end the project.
I see.
Wink, wink. Come on, man, it's done.
Yeah.
There's nothing here to see. It's all gone now. It didn't work. We worked on it for more than 10 years, but it didn't work. So we stopped it.
I see.
Yeah. So they don't do it. They
wink,
don't.
wink.
Yes, they don't. No, seriously, they don't. Come on. No. So they don't.
All right.
Apparently. But there are other researchers keep doing the same thing. Just get what they pick it up from what they left off.
Yes.
And actually they do it with a different methodology, and they do, I would say, more relatable contents, if you may.
Yeah.
Because there was this guy I was watching the other day, Courtney Brown.
Okay.
And he has the Farsight Institute. and people see remote viewing, and he took all this studies all the results from stargates and everything, and just took another approach to it, because apparently like they couldn't come up with a method that wouldn't leave any doubt that they see the things that they're supposed to, and there is no hints, or there is no shithousery with it. It's literally what's happening. So he invented some type of way to make sure that nothing gets past that method.
Okay.
Like the person that remote views don't get the information from anywhere. Possibly not from not telepathically, not like from like a, I don't know, piece of note somewhere. Nothing. There is no like a item in the envelope that you need to remote view. They didn't even pick the thing or event or the item. Remote viewers would remote view. They would just tell the remote viewer there is an event that's supposed to happen in the near future, and you need to remote view it.
Okay. Yeah.
And then later on, like let's say December, the remote viewer remote view the event that's supposed to happen in the near future. And later on, like in like let's say June, the person that give the task to the remote viewer pick the event that happened in February.
Oh, okay.
So the event that's supposed to be remote viewed was in the past for the task giver.
Okay.
But was in the future for the remote viewer.
Okay.
So there is no way that they can give each other information.
Yep.
The only way is to like be able to remote view it. And weirdly enough, when you remote view it, it's not bound by time, location, or anything for that matter.
Yeah.
And that's both creepy.
Yeah.
It creeps me out, and it just shows that if you get out of your body, if you can astral travel, and you're not bound by the physical boundaries,
not at all. Yeah.
That time doesn't exist.
Well,
or doesn't exist in a linear way that we perceive
it's all
it.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you think about Nostradamus or any of the great prophets of old. I mean, they would have been doing remote viewing, but I'm pretty sure that poor old Nostradamus didn't understand half what he was saying. Because some of his descriptions of 20th and 21st century things are a bit odd, but you can recognize what he's talking about.
Yeah, but I know he has some accurate prophecies.
Yes.
So, but I know he got some stuff wrong too.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
And it's hard to, because from what I know, I'm not a Nostradamus like enthusiast. So from what I know, he like explained it in this vague way. As you say, maybe he didn't have the language for it to explain it. Like saying, 9/11, these towers, well, the airplane will go through them and they will come down.
Yeah.
He didn't have any concept of any of those things.
No, of course not. That's what I mean.
He should say like, ball of fire in the red sky coming down. It's like something like that.
Yeah.
Like a poetic way to.
Exactly. Yeah. The thing is too, maybe he didn't get things wrong, but maybe the timelines changed on some events. I don't truly believe anything's totally set completely in stone for the future. I think there are things can change.
Some says timeline shift recently by Trump not getting killed.
I bet.
Dodging the bullet.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And it makes sense, right?
Yeah, but it makes me really curious to know what the other timeline would have been if he did.
If he only didn't turn his head right at that second.
See, that was probably intuition made him do that, though. We can never know that, but it could well have been. That timing was so perfect for him not to die, wasn't it? Move the head, boom, live. Just get a bloody ear instead.
Do you think some forces trying to shift the timeline or like keep it attached?
I really can't answer that, but it's something going on there because it was just so. I mean, the timing of the event was so. It could have been coincidence, of course, but I don't know. I can't answer that, Marnie. It's a possibility that some instinct in him made him move his head.
Yeah, but he didn't even move his head like to try to dodge anything.
No, it
was so natural.
Just like
he turned his head to explain something on the whatever board that they were showing, whatever screen they had there.
Yeah,
and as he's doing it, it's like,
yeah,
and it was very interesting.
We might never know the answer on that. We probably won't. but interesting what you say. That, and to me that's how timelines work. I mean, I even myself have prophesied certain events that haven't happened, and I really know that that's partly, I'm talking about personal events, but I know that I maybe had a change of attitude or a change of understanding of something. Therefore, the things that I could prophesize further back didn't happen because I have changed my thoughts or changed my actions, and therefore my timeline shifts over here instead of there. So, and I believe that on a bigger level too, that, things, so I'm never 100% that I will buy a prophecy.
What about past events?
Oh, gee, that's tricky. I know that our present situation can change past events, but I don't have any conscious experience of that, but I do believe that's true.
Because they were remote viewing, like in this Farsight Institute, they were remote viewing the time that pyramid was built. And they say like, it was just like the planet Earth was like almost a prison for humans, and it was just with no purpose. That pyramid was like built just with the slavery and no purpose at all. And I'm like, really?
What? Nah.
Maybe you checked the wrong timeline.
Yeah, I think so.
Or that's the thing. Like some stuff is like doesn't make sense. Some stuff makes sense.
Well, I think we're on to this. We've got off psychic powers and things, but too bad. We've got to come back to the realization that past, present, future actually coexist. So what you are saying about the present influencing the past, they must all influence each other because they're really only a concept of past, present, future. They're all happening at the present moment.
I think it's opposite, because if you think about it, like your mind, like it's logical to think that if the past events are easier to remote view because it already happened, and the present, as you said, the future events it can be different timelines, shift timelines, so it might not happen. But weirdly enough, with this methodology that I explained, with this method that they pick the event or whatever in the future, and the person has to remote view it now, the accuracy rate of it was 100%.
Oh, wow, that's great.
So how come they could see the events in the future even though timelines are shifting? But they got something, I'm not saying wrong, because I'm not the one to believe that pyramid they built the pyramid just to, I don't know,
that sounds
use
weird
slavery
to me.
And use people and this and that. It's like for no purpose at all. I'm like, huh? Really?
But just I would refute that anyway, just on the physical evidence of the remains in Egypt, they know that the pyramid builders were well paid and well respected people. They weren't slaves. That they were, maybe even specially chosen. I don't know that, but certainly they lived well.
Even if I want to remote, even my purpose, if I was a remote viewer, I would remote view to see how they build it. That's the most important part. What technology they used. Was it the technology? Was it they were chanting? Did they have a different understanding of frequency and vibration?
You must remember that all remote viewers color things slightly because they have thoughts and feelings of their own too. A good remote viewer won't do that, of course, but I bet you most of them do, because we all have attitudes and preconceived ideas about. So if someone's looking back at the Egyptian pyramids and has already an opinion on that, you can bet that opinion will affect what that person sees.
Yeah, the human element.
The human element.
Yeah.
Funny that. We're humans.
It fucks things up. Why?
Yes. That's just how it is.
Yeah, that makes it a little tricky to believe. That's what I mean. It takes away the credibility of it.
Oh, exactly.
Because we have feelings and we are attached to our agenda about whatever topic. And we're easy to pick a team and you know what I mean?
Yes.
Be polarized and no, fuck this. Oh, all this. You know what I mean? So, but I believe there is something in it. It needs to be studied more. And it needs to be accepted as a real field of a study.
I would like to put in my opinion on that. Study's good, but I would rather like to suggest that we all practice more. Then your study might not be needed. That I don't mean just remote viewing. I mean all of our psychic abilities, but because they get stuffed away in the Western world, I would just really love to see all of us come back to being able to use our potential with it. And not refuting your idea to study. I think that's brilliant too. But I think even more so that we learn, each of us, to use what we got, because we all got it, But I feel that, especially in the intellectual Western world, it's been pushed away from us, and that might be deliberate or might be not. I have an idea that authorities over us, whether it's politicians or religious leaders, probably don't want us to feel we have too much control over our environment, and maybe discourage the use of our psychic abilities, because those same abilities are there to help us connect with the world, know how to act, when to act, where, etc. So I don't want to make a conspiracy out of that, but I think there might be one. Partly, it might be unconscious, but I'm pretty sure something's there that way. For example, our gut feelings, which is really, really important psychic ability.
The point with this study is for us to understand it better. That's all.
Oh, great.
I'm not saying we should study it to believe it. No, quite contrary. We need to study it to understand it.
Yes, brilliant.
And then it makes it easier to practice it or to develop it.
Yeah.
Because when you talk with an average person about psychic power, it's what are you talking about, man? But if you have something to show up for, it's no, this study has been done. Even the average person with no special abilities, they can develop this much psychic power.
Yes.
They can have intuition. They can have this. They can have remote viewing. They can have vision. They can have precognition.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
To some level.
Yeah.
And these are normal people. They don't believe in any type of mythology or this or them. They're not mystic. They're real normal people. So
Bring it on.
I think that's the
Yeah,
only way
yeah.
to develop like some type of like give it legitimacy. Like no, we're not talking about mumbo jumbo, or
Yeah.
like we're not talking about become
Yeah.
a charlatan and
Yeah.
be a fortune teller or something, like not serious. No, it's like day-to-day life. You can feel more, you can see more, you can predict the near future, you get visions, you get intuition, gut
Yes.
feeling, as
Yeah.
you may, but in a more stronger, more believable, more usable way.
Yes, please. I'm right behind you on that,
Yeah.
mister. Yeah.
So the research director of Project Stargate, Dr. Ed May, he's an experimental physicist. He believes if we study the psychic powers, psychic abilities with combined with neuroscientists, we're gonna be able to map it somehow,
Okay.
like get a grasp on it.
Yes.
What it is, how can we develop it, or how can we activate it? So many things goes with it, and what it is that is happening when you remote view, when you have an out of body experience, when you have a precognition, vision, all those different lane of psychic powers.
Yes.
And I believe so too. I believe like we need a interdisciplinary study about it.
Yeah.
You cannot just lean on one side.
That will certainly give us more intellectual understanding of the whole situation. I agree. But in the meantime, we can get on and actually train anyway. We've got all we need. We just need to know what we have and what to do with it. And for example, another avenue of our psychic abilities is the visionary side. And on an intellectual level, a visionary person thinks in pictures. So if you're a visionary, which you're not, but if you were, you would maybe respond to me when I'm explaining something to you. Oh, I see what you mean. Because there are pictures going on in here. So there's that level. That's on the intellectual level. On the psychic level, our visionary part allows us to see energy, to see auras.
It's funny. I'm sorry I cut you off.
No, go for it.
There is a condition that some people have. They cannot image anything in their mind.
Oh, yes, of course.
They're blind. Their minds are blind.
Yeah.
They cannot picture anything. They can talk about it. They remember it. They cannot picture it.
Yeah.
It's so weird, right?
Well, yeah, I know people like that. But
sorry,
like
people with that disability. I don't mean to make fun of you.
Well, I've got news for you people with that disability. We've got 4 channels that we communicate with. I mean, in everyday life, not just psychically. But those that maybe not good at on vision are probably pretty good on something else, like pretty good on the feeling aspect, and feeling people. Oh, they do. They feel, and you can tell when if a feeling person's talking to you, they'll be talking with passion. They'll be talking in tiny little details, and probably driving you insane. But because that's where that's what's happening in here. The little impressions really make the impact. And then the other one is the intuitive type, which on one level just knows the right thing to do or say, but psychically they hear words, they hear voices. So the people without the vision will no doubt have one of those other channels working, or if not 2 or 3 of them. We have all 4, and most people use all 4, which is good news.
That's true with our senses too.
Yes,
when someone doesn't see, when someone is blind, they have a strong hearing sense and feeling, touching sense. So,
but going back to the visionary ones, how that's useful is I'm here looking at you now, and I see that you have a lot of blue energy around you. You usually do, and a little bit of purple. And by the way, which is nearly identical to me too. I think that's why we communicate well. We use the same channels, which is feeling and a little bit of the knowing thing. You feel deeply for things. Yeah. So
how do you explain, how do you define blue and purple colors?
blue is the person that has a lot of feeling.
Ah.
And the purple's the one that works a bit from the vague knowings, the ones that take the trips out easy. But no, if I didn't know you and I need to explain something to you, I would choose then to do it from feeling side. So I said, oh, hey, Marnie, I have to tell you about this great movie last night I saw. You know, it was just made me feel so good afterwards. It was a comedy, but it was quite sad. And so see, I'm starting on the feelings already. I haven't told you a thing about how it looked or who the actors were. We start on the feeling, and I know that I will probably reach you more quickly than if I laid out a big fancy scene of where it was set and how the house looked, where it was happening or whatever. That might come later, but first feeling. But if I saw yellow around you, I know that you're a visionary sort of person. So, we were at this great movie last night, and it was it's a beautiful set. It was set in the 1700s in this old romantic manor house, and of the time, and a lot of gold on the walls and blah blah blah, pictures. Then if there was any feelings involved, they can take second or third place. So, I mean, being able to see those colors, it's not just a party trick. It's really, really useful. You know?
I think I only experienced that when I was on mushrooms.
Oh, okay. But I can train you up to do the rest. It's just technique. Yeah.
Yeah.
And anyone can do that, I know.
It's weird because psychedelic kind of opens up or activates those psychic abilities, I feel.
Yes.
I experience it myself, so I know it's not like I could see the future or like, remote view, but these things that you say, I could see people's energy, aura, and
yeah, it gets you out of your head. That's the thing. No?
Yeah, it's just like you perceive things differently.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Even your vision, like you see things differently. Everything become alive.
Yeah.
Like I see the coffee sitting on the floor moving. I see toilet moving. I see clothes coming out of in and out of closet. And I was like, oh shit, everything is alive. I thought like, because usually, and it can be easily my like faulty vision. I'm not trying to say, oh no, that's the reality. But it was reality at that point for me.
Of course, yeah.
So it just shows that you can perceive reality in a different way.
Yes.
Especially when we start the podcast saying we figure that we live in a holographic universe.
Yeah.
So it's just...
Of course.
It's however you see it, that's you can go with that.
Yes. Alcohol can do a similar thing too. And this, you often hear about drunks seeing pink elephants and stuff. It's probably a similar thing that they've opened up their other senses.
Yes, but I think with the psychedelics, people experience similar experiences.
Yeah,
like it's very similar.
Heard so, yeah.
Especially with DMT and ayahuasca. People experience very similar things. And they usually encounter these like elf beings that they're supposed to give them knowledge or something. Or sometimes they make fun of them. And
it might tune everyone into a similar frequency of events. That's possibly how it happens. I have no experience of this.
Or you just receive it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It tune you to that frequency so you receive it.
Yeah.
And they're all...
And the drunks get the pink elephants, but then ayahuasca or DMT gets the little guys or something like that. I don't know.
I think it's the closest to having psychic abilities because I experienced some of it. I know how it feels. And when you describe psychic abilities, I'm like, it's a very similar feeling. And Of course, you have to have the mind. You have to be prepared mentally to not freak out and
Yes.
thinking like you're losing your mind. Because for me, it was fun. I was like seeing things differently. A little shocking, but I was like, oh, okay, I guess now we see the world like this for a few hours. And it was weird, but it was fun too. And it just gave me another perspective on, yeah, things are not as like easy and like mundane as
Yeah.
they look
Oh.
every day. It's just the way I'm seeing them. It can easily change with like a little altered state of mind with some chemicals.
Yes.
So
You know, in a way, I think this happens to us as we evolve too. It may not be as dramatic as what you're describing, but I know I don't see things in the same light that I did just when I was 20 years old. Because I've gone through so much evolution in those 50 years, you know, that so in a more subtle way, I think that happens to all of us too, that we view things differently, very much. And I'd say the specific thing for me is I had fixed ideas of what was beautiful and what was ugly. And now I think through the changes in me, I see real beauty and real ugliness in everything, not just this or that. You know.
if you're aware of it, if you're aware of our psychic abilities or our abilities in general,
Yes,
it just gives us like a comfort of knowing that, oh, this isn't all like a physical world that we die and we
absolutely.
cease to exist.
Yeah.
So many people, when they have out of body experiences or near death experiences,
Yes.
they get rid of the fear of death, fear of dying.
Yeah.
And it's very important to have to have that experience, to have that belief and certainty that, oh, no, I get it. This is body. This is a life that I'm living in this body and like with this in this dimension. But when it's all done and gone, I'm gonna be still some form of me will
absolutely
keep on living.
Yeah.
So
I'm right behind you with that, and also would like to say that using all our psychic senses to help us stay on track while we are here. You know, I mean, that's what they're for. It's like little radar antennas helping us to be in the right place at the right time. Like the gut instinct thing of, example I had was, it's a while back now, I was driving in the dark and I just felt myself slamming the brakes on really hard in the middle of the night. And then a moose walked in front of the car, but I hadn't seen the moose before I braked. Some instinct in me just do it. And moose are big. For anyone who hasn't seen one, it could easily have killed us.
yeah.
You know? I was driving reasonably fast, not ridiculous, but you know. So I mean, that's the sort of thing we have psychic abilities for. To say, you know, hey, moose, stop. You know, oh yeah, moose.
So you would say it's a precognition that you
Yes.
receive information from future?
Absolutely. Well, I don't
Because you say you didn't feel like you're out of your body.
No, I was driving.
I hope not.
Not driving the car.
Yes, that's not the right place and right time to.
It was my foot putting the brakes on. Yeah. So that's coming from our feeling instinct, our the feeling part of us, and I have another sort of similar one. When I was a young child, I think I was probably 6 years old, 7 or somewhere there, and we were living in Singapore, and we were all swimming on this sort of sandbank. Well, off a sandbank, it was water on it, and my young sister, who was about probably 2, disappeared suddenly, and no one saw when she disappeared. Suddenly she just wasn't there. And I just felt my arm fly out into the water here, and suddenly, here's an ear, and pulled up my little sister, walking along the bottom quite happily. She didn't seem upset that she was underwater. But I had no reason for my arm to fly out and just find an ear. Just went there. Fortunately, close by to me. So, I mean, these are not unusual experiences. I'm guessing most people have some kind of similar events happen in their lives. And hopefully more and more of these will happen, not just to protect us, but also to put us in the right place too.
Because I believe like one of the ways that they think about how remote viewing is happening is that, oh no, we just receive information. So it's precognition. We just receive information either from past or future.
Yeah.
But many believes that no, we travel with our astral body. We go, like we have out-of-body experiences. And we can go to places and like appear in a physical form as well.
Yes, I'm sure.
Yeah. It's very interesting because this Farsight Institute, they document all the remote viewings that they have done. So you can watch it online. Like watch people remote viewing and writing and talking and saying what they see, what they say.
Okay.
And it's very interesting, mind-blowing to watch.
Yeah.
And I believe it's both precognition and out-of-body experience. It just works in a different ways.
Sure.
To function of a same
I would agree with that.
Concept.
Yeah.
Like, you can both receive information and have an out-of-body experience.
Yes.
Go places.
Oh, for sure.
Remote viewing and go to the place.
The thing is, I'd see us, especially us Westerners, I'm a bit tough on us, but I see that we're almost like psychic cripples in a way, and that we haven't allowed ourselves or haven't been allowed to evolve. If you look at some of the abilities of, for example, Tibetan monks, I mean, what they can do is just beyond description, and it's just because they have free reign to do it. And I'm sure we could all do the same if we chose to go that way, So we have, to me, it's like we have just a small percentage of our potential here developed. I would love to see more of us really blossom in this area. Use more of what we have.
Yeah, I believe as it is now, we try to be more aware of it. And the awareness of it is something that starts the change.
Yes.
If you're aware of
excellent. Yeah.
Your body, your feelings, your intuitions, your gut feeling, your sense of vision.
Yeah.
And don't think of it as like, this is just mumbo jumbo or whatever. Like, really understand it. Be aware of it. And don't let anyone else, let anyone tells you anything else. It's like, it doesn't matter what people think, or you don't have to discuss it with anybody. It's like, just be aware of it. Be aware of how you feel. Be aware of if you have any skills, any gift, any ability in those different ways.
Yes.
And deprogram yourself from what you've been programmed to believe.
Yes.
Like, it's just this and that, just life. You're gonna die. And even the religion aspect of it says like there's afterlife, but it still puts you down in the place that no, you're just human. You have to live. You have to worship if you want to have an afterlife.
We control
afterlife. It's a form of control and like putting you down and keeping you off your potentials.
Yes.
And
exactly.
that's the thing, like we need to be aware of it. And whoever else does it with whatever means, we have to stop them at the get going. Like, oh no. I'm not gonna play this game that you're trying to set up here for me.
Yeah.
It's a setup. It feels like it's a setup.
Yeah, I know.
And it's been a setup for thousands of years.
Of course, yeah. one way or another.
Slowly but surely we're going towards the way that no, we are human being, we are capable, we have endless potential.
Yes.
And hopefully we can achieve it. Hopefully we can acknowledge it and be aware of it.
Yes.
And
I would like to suggest a shortcut too. Not the whole answer, but be your nature. You can't help but open up your sensitivities there. And in Huggetry, I know that's a cliche, but it's the most awesome feeling. Just feeling the strength of the tree moving through you. Oh, wow. It's just amazing. Or feeling the eternity of granite, sitting on granite for a while. And so that's a good shortcut. Yeah.
So let's see what future holds. I believe it's going to be if it's going to be changes, especially in these fields that I'm talking about.
I'm very pleased to hear you say that, Marnie. I mean, the more conscious awareness we have of these things, as you say, the more we're going to bring them out in us. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's end on that.
Thanks.
Feels really good. Do you have anything else to say?
No, that's a good place.
Yeah.
I think the shortcut's a good end.
Yeah, shortcuts.
Go out and hug trees.
Yes. Touch grass.
Yeah, touch grass.
Thank you.
Thank you, Marnie.